Hello guys, and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. My name is James, and today we're going to go ahead and sit down and talk to you guys about Reading's 4-0 loss in pre-season to Swansea. Makes it 5 losses in a row this pre-season, and it's safe to say that we've not gotten off to the best starts. Now, a lot of this video is not going to be talking about the game itself. We're going to be talking about the post-match news and kind of everything surrounding the club. Listen, right now, I spoke about this before about being darkest days of Reading Football Club almost a year and a half ago when speaking about the 7-1 or 7-0 loss at home to Fulham. But right now, I feel like Reading are experiencing their darkest day. This owner needs to leave this club. Dai Young needs to be... There needs to be some sort of bigger governing body that removes this man. Hell, listen, I'd take a 12-point deduction right now for going into administration just if it means he sells up. The direction that this club is being put in right now is absolutely despicable, and there's no mainstream media coverage of this at all. None at all. Sky Sports couldn't give a toss. And I see an exact replica of Bolton, of Bury, when there was countdowns to the death of the club, and I fear that Reading are going to be in the exact same situation. I feel like we're in that exact same situation. Southend and Reading right now are arguably the two most poorly run clubs in the country. Wolverhampton Wanderers, West Bromwich Albion right now have issues with Chinese owners. But Reading Football Club have the biggest issue, and that is Dai Young. The biggest issue is the man that is in charge right now, and especially with the concerning news that came out today. It's not looking good, to say the least. Listen, before we go into anything, let's speak about this game, and then we can talk about the post-match news, which is probably going to be our main topic of conversation today. Listen, Reading started off with a starting 11 of Dean Bazounis, Andy Yeardom, and Nesta Guinness-Walker, Tom Holmes and Jarrell Dorset. Tom McIntyre missing out today due to a virus. We had Tivonge Rashisha, who was a trialist again, playing in the midfield alongside Charlie Savage. Harvey Nibbs and Femi Aziz playing just behind Kelvin Eheribotoman and Andy Carroll. Thought Kelvin Eheribotoman didn't play too well. It's nice to see Andy Carroll back in the squad. Andy Yeardom didn't look too bad for the 37 minutes he was involved with. I thought Tivonge Rashisha probably deserves a contract at this point. It's quite clear that Ruben Celes does like him, especially again with the post-match comments. Charlie Savage didn't do too well either. Now that was the first half, and I thought Reading weren't too bad in the first half. Not too bad. Didn't think they were great, but I didn't think they were too bad. When I talk about Eheribotoman, I talk about his performance in the first half. I thought there was some good little touches. I thought a little bit of the build-up play wasn't too bad for Reading. We did go into the half-time break 1-0 down though, a Joel Perot goal. Good goal as well. He doubled the lead though on the 49th minute after two changes came when Kanaya Boyce-Clark and Michael Craig came off the bench. Nelson Abbey was the third substitute for Reading as well today, alongside a host of others with Bindon, with Kamara, Vickers. Multiple players came on. But Kanaya Boyce-Clark randomly appearing once again for Reading. This comes after his Gold Cup experience with Jamaica. He was offered a contract at the end of May. Listen, again, post-match news, we'll talk about it, but no announcement, absolutely nothing from the club in regards to Kanaya Boyce-Clark. He's just supposedly back now. The game did end 4-0 though to Swansea. Joel Perot scoring another goal. Jerry Yates and then Matt Grimes finishing it off to make it 4-0 to the Swans. I think it was all Swansea in the second half. Personally, didn't see the second half. I was at work for the game. I was able to watch the first half, but didn't see the second. But look, I heard it was all Swansea. I've seen the mistake from Kanaya Boyce-Clark as well. Very football manager-esque goal for the third. And yeah, Reading didn't play too well. But we're going to talk about the post-match comments more than anything. The post-match news is what we're going to focus on more than anything. Now, Tim Della was speaking a lot throughout the game as well, and said that around the club that the deregistration of the players is not a serious danger. Listen, the players are tied into a contract themselves, so in terms of the contract being tampered, I don't think that's something that Reading fans will massively need to be concerned about. There's genuine concern though that Ruben Celes could walk away should the situation not improve. What are we doing? What are we doing with ourselves here? Now, Dean Bazounis did go on to speak to the fans as well and say that he doesn't believe that Ruben Celes would walk. He speaks quite highly of him and said he knows what he's talking about. He's pleaded we support the young lads. He said that he doesn't want to get politically involved. especially with what's going on at the club right now. In terms of potential investors, Tim Della also spoke that they're finding it hard to even get a conversation with Dai Young, and that behind the scenes there are fears that the owner's interests are waning. We've been speaking about this for a long time, about Dai Young's interests waving from this club. And once again, it's now all coming true. The man doesn't care. And whatever needs to happen against Peterborough needs to happen, where a statement of intent is made that Reading fans want him out of the club. Whether that means 200, 300, 400 people storming the pitch, whether it means we get the game abandoned by chucking stuff on the pitch or anything, I don't think a walkout is something that should be done. I get these things take time, and the Sell Before We Die campaign is something that will take time. But I think drastic action needs to be taken to get it through to that man's thick skull that he needs to sell this football club. It angers me just speaking about the whole situation, really, because I see my club dying before my eyes, and Sky Sports and main media news outlets do not give a fuck. It's an exact replica of Bolton and Bury, where these owners are killing the club. Bury were killed. And I fear that it's going to happen again for Reading. I really, really do. Reading and Southend are arguably the two worst run football clubs right now in the country. And both look to be knocking on death's door. He's killed two clubs before as Dai Young. It looks like it's about to be a third. Now, in terms of Ruben Sellis' comments, he admitted that his side are not ready for the upcoming season, that Sam Smith will have a scan on a quad issue. He confirms fears of deregistration of players, but Lewis Wing could be involved on Saturday. Now, the fear is that Sam Smith is going to be out for a long-term injury. It's unfortunate, and it's just the Reading way, isn't it, at this point? Sellis was coy as well, but confirms that some signed players may not be registered in time for Saturday, not able to offer contracts to some who have been on trial until payment has been made, and that's in regards to HMRC. He wants Rashisha through the door. Wing is not ready, but could feature on Saturday. There's also an understanding that Kanaya Boyce-Clark is on a week-to-week contract, but there are positive discussions over a longer-term deal. Don't see how that's going to happen when we can't even pay our fucking tax bill. How's that going to happen? Let's be realistic. I understand he might pay it, but what's going to happen next month when the exact same tax bill comes through with wages? It's just going to be put in the same situation again. Robbie Savage is concerned that Charlie Savage's contract could just be gone as he's not officially ready. He chose the club in good faith and he had a whole host of clubs after him. There's rumours that he could go back to Man United until this tax bill is paid. It's just not what you want, is it? It's an absolute mess of a club. We're just a joke. It's a complete and utter joke. When you talk about this football club, this is not what you expect from Reading Football Club. The last 5 years, this man's ownership has been dreadful. And whatever drastic measures need to be taken, I do personally believe it needs to happen. I get that storming the pitch might not be the best idea, especially with the fines and the serious action it could take and the massive impact it can have on the club. But at this point, what are we supposed to do? At this point, I'd take the 12-point administration deduction. Take the club into administration, take the 12-point deduction, get someone else to buy the club. Reading aren't a club that's unbuyable. They've got a great training facility. They've got a great academy. The stadium's fantastic. The facilities of the club are great. They've got good assets. I don't see how someone hasn't come in massively. But listen, if the owner's interests are waning and potential investors are finding it hard to even get a conversation with him, I'm struggling to see any positives right now. It's difficult. It's so difficult being a Reading fan. And unfortunately right now, it's going to get even worse. I think it's going to get worse before we see the light of the end of the tunnel. But yeah, fingers crossed. I don't know. An announcement gets made tomorrow that he's sold the club. We were supposed to sign Jay Stansfield and Fiorini from Man City and Jay Stansfield from Fulham. Those deals won't go through now. You see what Mark Bowen was cooking up. It was great. But it's not going to happen now. Listen, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Before I talk too long, if there's anything you guys want to talk about in the comment section below, leave it down there. Just get it off your chest. It's best to. So poor right now with the club. Thanks for watching though, guys. My name's been James. Listen, it's going to be difficult. I'm going to do a League One prediction table video coming out at the end of the week. Will Reading even feature in it? I don't even know. Will we be there at the end of the season? Who knows? So we're here for this video though, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you very soon for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.